How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm really good. And as I said before, very, very, very pumped that Orgy are finally coming to Australia. When it was
Us
announced,
too.
you should have seen my feed, dude. It was insane. It
Mm.
was like assemble. Everyone came out and was just so excited.
Oh, awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, I don't know what to expect, you know what I mean? Like it's just like different place, you know? Like I've always wanted to go there though, you know, and I have a lot of friends from the areas over there, but and we just signed a deal with Golden Robot Records, you know.
Yeah.
They're an Australian label and just for two songs. So we're gonna try to get those done and get those out before we get down there.
Dude.
So we're looking
Everyone's
for
pumped. Everyone's pumped to come down. I know it's a long flight, but what do you kind of expect for us from Australia? What are you thinking that it's going to be when you step on?
just the typical shit like kangaroos and like I don't know, I don't know. I, I don't expect anything. I just know it's going to be different, you know.
Have you seen Mad Max Furiosa?
No, we might go see that. If my boy wants to go to that one, we might.
Okay, it's probably going to be you'll look at that. That's exactly what it's like. So,
Really? Is it crazy?
yeah,
Like that, like big desert, like yeah,
wasteland.
and
Nah,
like shrimps and Barbies and like fucking, yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's right. No, 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 no. But of course, you're
yeah.
bringing your buddies Cole down with you as well, and you've been recently on a run with those lads. And
Yeah.
Earl, how's it been going on adventures with them? And have you been in touch with them about coming to Australia?
It's yeah, I do talk to them, a little bit. We haven't really touched base on the Australia thing that much, but we just ended the tour like a week ago for the States, and I was sick. We went through five buses, but the shows were awesome. Five buses, yeah, yeah. I know it's jaw dropping when you
Dude,
think about it. I mean, I can see maybe switching buses once in a blue moon, on a tour, but like this way, there's five. It's like whoa,
that's a big.
crazy,
Yeah, was that because they
craziness.
broke down, or was it because it was the way it navigated through the country?
No, they all broke down for one reason or another. Like the Jenny power generator would go out, or
Yeah.
there would be something. Just it was just a string of bad luck on tour buses, apparently. So so you just got to roll with the punches, man. And it takes good three and a half hours to get everybody's stuff off the bus onto another bus, redo your setup, you know what I mean? And it's like five different times. I mean, one of them, like I sleep in the back lounge. I just can't do the bunk thing because it's like it feels like a coffin. It's just way too small
Yeah.
and confined for me. So I sleep in the back lounge, and on the third bus, I can't remember if it was third or fourth, one of the last few. Like the back lounge had a flood in it, and I didn't realize it. Like I predicted a water problem on this bus because when I got on it, and you hit the faucet just to sweep, I don't know, wash your hands or do whatever. And the toilets were flushing, but the water faucets weren't going on. And I was like, this is weird. I'm predicting a water problem with this one. And the guy told me, he's like, man, I'm standing on the bus, like the ACs are working on this one much better than the last one. We're like, okay, cool, thank you. And then he was like, there's a shower on this one again, which a lot of them had that, but we'll use the shower as like a storage for extra
Mhm.
guitars and stuff like that. So, anyways, but yeah, it was that wasn't working. So I just wanted to show him that the shower wasn't working. Then he's like, I told you that the shower wasn't working. I'm like, no, no, you didn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like one of those kind of things. But so yeah, it was sure enough. Like we're driving down the road. I'm like I'm sitting there on my bed in my socks, and I go to put on my shoes when we go to a truck stop, and the right shoe goes on like no problem. And my left foot was like really wet. It's like, oh, this
Oh,
is weird. And then I kind of felt the floor under that, and I was like, oh shit, like it was really wet. And so I pulled out these bags that I had under there. My duffel bags were like soaked at the bottom. I was like, oh shit. Then I lifted up the whole mattress thing because we kind of build like a little like bed thing with like wood slats and all that.
yeah, yeah.
And then so I pushed all that up, and I'm like, and then I walk over into this little corner of it, and it was like a 3 or 4 inch puddle of water. I'm just like, holy shit. Some good black mold, breathe in a little good mold, gotta have some of that. And yeah, it was kind of fucked. So yeah, that was so I spent 2 hours before that show, like literally on my hands and knees with a wet dry vac that I borrowed from the club and just like sucking water out of the carpet and stuff like that. It was a nightmare.
Man.
So yeah, but we got through it, and I mean the guy felt bad that, they rented us the buses, but it's like, it's like these buses were like, I don't know, they cost you 80 racks, you know what I mean? Like 80 grand to rent a tour bus. Like now, for a tour of that, that size, like 47 shows or whatever it was, it's like almost 2 months. And like you're spending 80 G's on something, you just want it to work. That's all.
Yeah, that's right, man. You don't want to be
I
swimming in the
mean,
back of your fucking bus.
yeah, that's not too much to, not too much to ask. Can we not do the kiddie pool on this
Yeah.
one the next time? You know what I mean? So, anyways, yeah, it was a nightmare, but the shows were excellent. We did do a drummer change for the last 4 or 5 shows. More on that later, but like, yeah, it was very interesting. But the shows were really good.
That's awesome, man, because I mean, we're pumped. Yeah, I mean, you got to be primed and pumped
Oh
for
yeah,
the
we're gonna
tour.
bring it. We're gonna bring it.
Man, I tell
Yeah.
you what though, like you've been celebrating 25 years of Candyass, which is one of my favorite albums of all time, dude. Like,
Oh, thank you, thank you.
man, I mean, look, you've got a bunch of tracks off other albums as well that I love, like off Vapor Transmission and Punk Static Paranoia. But how's the set? Because this is your first tour here. How are you going to cram all that? Are we going to get a 4 hour set, or is it?
Yeah, I
How
mean,
are we
I
going to
would
do it?
love much as I would love to do. I mean, we might do a slightly extended set, but I definitely know that we're gonna mix it up. We're not gonna just play just only Candyass, even though it's the 25th anniversary of that. We're definitely gonna mix it up and play a lot of new stuff, a good amount of Candyass. Like I would say that out of all the records, that would be the one that we're playing the most songs from. So
Unreal.
yeah, it's gonna be good, and a bunch of new material too. So it's gonna be cool, and hopefully the 2 new songs that we did on that we're doing on Golden Robot. So we can get those circulating out there, and then just like jump it and do it.
When do they drop?
Well, we're not sure yet. We don't even know the 2 songs we're doing yet. We just signed the deal, and we have to do a Zoom with them tomorrow actually, and figure it out. Like I'm gonna send them a bunch of things, and kind of give them my ideas of where I think that the song should go, and then they'll tell me like cool or like try again or something. Like so we'll see. But they just want a couple songs, so we'll give them some really good material. Like the new stuff is going to be produced psychotically. It's going to sound so good, and I'm stoked for that because I've been sharpening my production skills, and you know what I mean. Like you can't have like a bunch of kids out here just like blowing you away with production and stuff. So we pay attention.
I will
So
say though, like that was something that I love seeing is when your name was on a record back in that day as well. Because like I was an Orgy fan, and then I saw you on the Cold Chamber, producer of that. I think you're amazing at what you do, dude. Like it
oh,
inspired
thank you so
me,
much.
you know.
I do prefer to do the live drum thing, although it's not so feasible these days, with the kind of budgets you get for stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, we might sneak in the studio and just get a drummer to play on, the 2 songs just because we want it to be really, really good. These songs have to be super good. Like so I just want to make sure that they're right. So, whatever we have to do to get them there, they'll be there.
Man, I tell you what, well, it all kicked off for me with this. Kids, can you see this? I don't know if you can see this with a
Oh yeah.
VHS, ladies and gentlemen. They still exist. But that for me, that was my introduction to Orgy. When I got
Oh,
that,
right on.
I was like, holy shit, who's this band? I ran out and just absorbed everything I could. And Candyass was a big, as I said before, a very big deal for me. But it helped me opened my mind to a lot of synth driven stuff, and it ended, it took me
Oh,
down
right on.
pathways, dude. It was very, very influential to me. Are you hearing
That's so
a
cool.
lot, these days,
That's
especially from the younger generations as well?
what say it again?
Are you hearing that a lot from like, even the younger generations coming up these days?
Surprisingly enough, yeah, like the younger kids really like it. Like it's really odd to me why the booking agents there's some red tape there, but booking agents don't seem to want to book us in all ages shows, and every time we do, they all sell out. Now,
Hmm.
like with the red tape part is I guess the reason for that is because it's harder for them to insure the event if it's like all ages. So I do understand that. And but if you do an all ages show, it's gonna just pack it out. Like and I love that because it brings a lot of young energy and they're just like going crazy and stuff like that. So a lot of them it's their first concert and whatnot. But the but speaking of sellouts, every show except one on this tour is sold out. So um, so I'm very grateful for that. Like, so I couldn't be happier as far as the turnouts have been. Yeah, the one that didn't sell out was literally like a speakeasy in Tallahassee, Florida. I was like, where the hell are we? I knew pulling up it was going to be a little strange, but yeah, there's alligators and all kind of weird shit happening there. So
Man,
yeah,
I know it's like down here I've played some pretty strange places, dude. Where you've pulled up,
yeah,
you're like, you pull into a town and you're like, am I 40 years in the past? Like it's
right,
it's like
yeah.
you probably see that a lot.
Yeah, no, that happens for sure. Like, you pull into some towns and you're just like, oh man, what happened? Time warp,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
whatever that it's cool. Like you just roll with it, you know what I mean? Like everywhere, like there's been all the people have been fucking incredible. So I'm really stoked that everybody got back into the 90s thing or whatever it is, like, it's or people just finally starting to tune in and say, oh, this band's better than I thought they would be live or whatever it is, like they didn't get to see us, when they were younger and so they're acting out their childhood fantasy bucket lists and they're coming to see us now. So no complaints, man.
Well, I feel like right now, look, I hate to use the word new metal, but everything from that
I get it.
time of year was under that umbrella, and it was multiple different subgenres under this one umbrella. And I think now there's a lot of bands, especially from down here, are adopting some of those styles. Like there's bands like Alpha Wolf from down here, Bankside Brave.
By the way, good job on those guys, Australia, because they're fucking dope. Like that is one of my favorite new bands. I love them.
There you go. See? And I think
Yeah.
a lot of these bands are adopting some of those influences and it's all circling around. And the kids are fucking
Yeah.
loving those bands like you guys and Corn. Are you hearing that a lot too? Like do you feel
Yeah, I mean, you can hear some, influences, like, with some bands, and it's flattering because, like, I don't even know if they realize what they're emulating or whatever, but
mm,
like, it feels good to hear it, and then like, or when I know one of their songs is tuned to A sharp, I know for a fact in the new metal era, like, we were the only band that tuned to A sharp, so I was like, all right, that's cool. Like maybe somebody was paying attention to what we used to tune to, and they're tuning it to A sharp, and that's really cool. I think that's rad, So I'm always, just I'm always into it. I don't take like, credit for it. It's cool that they took note of what we did back then. You know what I mean? As
yeah,
I
man.
take note of what they do now. Yeah. So
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. And of course, I mean, you play shows like Sick New World, like these big shows where it's bringing all those bands together, and it's
yeah.
not just them. It's it's new bands. It's bands from that era. Do you find that overwhelming that it's all your mates in one spot? It's like trying to catch up
Uh,
with
it,
everybody.
it is, but I mean, I ran into all of, I ran into most of them. It was a little hard to get over to where the Deftones and Corn were, but I talked to those guys, pretty consistently. At least Jonathan, and so it's it was cool seeing everybody. I ran into like Jacoby, Papa Roach. Love those guys and my boys, and we're all Niner fans, so we're like crazy about football and stuff like that. But like, yeah, my daughter really wanted to see those guys, so it was cool for her to get to say hi to those guys and stuff.
Oh, that's unreal, man. And what are you doing outside of Orgy? You doing a lot of production stuff, or you?
Production stuff, and just raising my kids, and kind of like got into this new thing where I'm like installing PA systems and and like the elementary schools because they get shit on so bad with the
Yeah.
PA stuff. Like it sounds terrible. Like you go to see your daughter at a play and it's just like, it sounds horrible there. So the principal at her school was like, could you help me do that? And I was like, yeah, cool. And then I was like, we should do this for all the elementary schools, and just like start, it doesn't take very long and it's like they get so stoked and they all sound better. It gives them more confidence. So it's part of the, enrichment, fulfillment process. So it's fun. I'm just kind of doing that for as like just a little side thing.
We need that down here. Seriously, I've been
Oh,
to
yeah.
so many things with my kids, and you're just like, what is going on, man? We paid $50 a ticket for this, and it's got some dude out the back going, fucking, ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's terrible, but yeah, that I mean, I got a little sick of that, and then
Yeah,
the principal at this one he likes to do it outside sometimes, like morning assemblies and stuff, and it always sounds like, I'm
yeah,
like, what is he saying, so I made this rack that's kind of like the brains for the whole operation, and so it rolls outside for when he wants to do the outside stuff. And then we just put it back up on the stage when he does, the inside auditorium stuff. So it's kind of like the central brain of the whole thing. It's really, really a cool thing.
that's unreal,
So
man. That's unreal.
yeah,
But of course, I mean, you've just told me about new music. Is there an album that you're working on as a bigger picture?
no, not really. We just kind of do singles.
Mm, it's understandable.
Yeah, I mean, it'll add up to an album at some point. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes. We're gonna start releasing more. So
I
real
love the
soon.
latest ones, man. Like,
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
it's so good, dude. So good. I
Thank you,
can't
man.
wait
I
to hear it,
appreciate
man.
you.
Look, I'm trying not to fanboy here. I've done thousands of these things, and as I said before, that album was so influential to me, and I can't wait to see it live, dude. It's going to be such an unreal tour.
Awesome, man. That's
And
fucking great. I can't wait to see this. You definitely coming to the show. What area do you live closest to?
Brisbane, dude, it's on my calendar.
Brisbane.
Yeah.
All right, Brisbane, and it's Melbourne, and Brisbane,
Yeah.
like not Brisbane or Melbourne. I get
No,
it.
that's right.
Like
Melbourne.
yeah,
Melbourne.
yeah, Melbourne, Brisbane.
You get
Got it.
points for that. You get extra beers for that one. So yeah,
Right on,
first,
right
yeah.
on, right on.
But
Yeah, man. Let us know. Let us know what we can do. Like if you're bringing people or whatever, and we'll sort you out, man.
yeah, man, I'll be there for sure with my crew. But in the meantime, dude, thanks so much for hanging out on the show. I'm gonna have all the notes down, all the links down here in the show notes and on the website. Brother, enjoy your
Awesome.
day, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you.
Take care, man. See you, bro.
Okay, dude. I'll see you when we get there. All right, bye.